Hi there, we're doing a quick Ghost update. So the last week, Ghost has kind of regressed a little in the way that he just kind of wants to bounce around a lot and be a puppy, which is understandable. So we've just been reinforcing those skills. So this is the video after that week is over. So we're doing platform work. We've been doing basically this concept with the crate. You go in the crate and you wait. Ghost is okay about it. And so today we worked on getting on things, but not necessarily staying on them, and especially not outside. And so if you notice, this is our first outside video with Ghost. It's not that he hasn't been outside, it's just the weather's been pretty bad. So here I'm not verbally asking him to do anything. My body is just next to the object. I'm inviting him basically to do things with it. So I would like him to put his back feet on there. This is a body awareness type thing. Right there you saw him move his back foot. And so I went ahead and I rewarded for that. Here, when he jumped up on it, I said yes, and that gave him the idea that he needed to be on top of the platform. So here I'm just going to treat him several times for being in place. He's offering to sit. He offered the paw there too, but I really want him to keep, again, 4 on the floor, because that has been our lingering issue, especially this week. He's coming back out of it. You know, training is never a linear thing. We're always going back and forth, and especially with puppies. And especially with puppies that we're trying to train for a specific task like Ghost, we want it to go forward and we want to do it as quickly as possible, but they have to grow mentally. So he's doing really well here. If you notice there, I was able to shift my weight back, and he thought about coming with me, but then he realized he was getting lots of cookies for staying put. So here I'm able to add a little bit of distance. There he makes the choice to stay put again, and so he gets a big reward for that. Here I see what he's willing to offer, and he just can't. I have to do a bouncing thing. So I help him get back up on. Again, I don't want to squish the enthusiasm. I just want to be able to channel it. Here I'm getting cookies. So in the beginning, I always keep a cookie pouch on me, so the cookies are always readily available. As they progress in their training, I leave a bag of cookies nearby for 2 reasons. One is so they learn to leave it alone. They know where it is. They could easily go over there, but they need to choose to leave it alone and let me access it. The other reason is because it resets what we're doing. Whenever I run out, I have to go back over, and they have to re-engage the activity when they come back. So here you can tell, just with that quick little break, he's figuring it out better. So I release him, we run around a little bit, and here he wants to go back to it. So he gets a cookie, and I reward him for that. And we bounce. So we're going back for cookies. This will be our 3rd time to go back over there. I try and do things in sets of 3. And here he's like, yes, I remember the platform. That's a good thing. And so here I'm just demonstrating. He doesn't really need the leash. I have it on him more because I do want him to understand the leash. And if you notice, there's no prong collar, there's no martingale. This is literally just like a pretty thin rope leash that I just kind of have looped around his neck. Just that one session with the prong collar was enough for him to get the message because of all the foundation work we had done, and he's been really good since then. So I'm trying to make sure he's really, really good with his leash, because he will be walking around in public a lot while he's on it, and I want it to be second nature. We have done a lot of off-leash work with all the rain out here, and so he's comfortable with the area. And so here I want him to remember his back feet, and he does a good job there. And so here I'm just trying to move around and see what he offers. And I like the sitting. Again, I like the feet touching the ground. And so there he chose to stay with it, and I reward him. So that was a good session outside with the platform. So now we're going to move on to updating where he is with his loose leash walking. That's kind of what we saw in the last video, and like I said, that's where we used the correctional collar, and we went to where we were using the prong to help him out. So now, again, I'm still using that thin leash. If you notice, he's staying more appropriately in the approximate heel area. He's not pushing into me as much. He did bounce up there, but he didn't bounce at me. Again, that's something that's happened this week a lot, was the bouncing at me, which is definitely not what we want him doing. So here, if you notice, I'm going to the right. Going to the right is always easier for the dogs because they need to move around us right there, and it's fun. To move to the left, they have to actually stop and kind of back up around you. So that's the turn that we add later. So here I'm just warming up with the right-hand turn, and I'm just reinforcing whether he sits on his own when I stop. And there he remembered. Here I'm backing up, so he's doing a front sit. There he tries to use his paws again, so I back up again because, again, not what I'm looking for. So here we're walking back to the camera. I turn to the right. There he's getting a little bit wide. There's some sheep over there and some horses, so he's just a little distracted. But there I'm able to turn left. He backs up out of my way, so we're going to keep working on that with our pivot stuff and some work that we're doing in the house. But he definitely has the idea of being in close with me, and it takes just like a 2-finger correction on the leash to get him to stop. So now we're going to move on to place training. Again, it's reinforcing the idea of just staying put, so I'm doing as many activities with that. But again, our goal with him is for him to be a mobility dog, so I am introducing the concept of when I sit, there's acceptable behaviors for you to do. And so here, when I sit, as if I'm going to be in a restaurant or something, I would like him to lay down. He's a larger dog, so I just want him to lay down and learn his place. He is good with this skill until he gets a little excited or, a little bored. So we're just working on the reps here. So I've got the cookies right there on the little small table, so he knows they're right there. The other cookies are right behind me. You can kind of see it on the ground. So he definitely has to choose to stay there, stay passively focused on me. And so here he kind of lost his focus a little bit, but he sat, and so he's trying to figure out what the right answer is. So I'm just sitting and waiting to see what he offers. If you notice, his focus is a lot longer than it was just a couple weeks ago. And so here I give him the right answer, laying down. Sitting was okay, but I'd really like for him, when I'm laying back like this and just reclined, I would like him to be down. And so here I'm asking him to do it again. I'm not being specific as to which side I would like him to be on. I want to have the option of anywhere around me, so that way I can redirect it. Here, the sitting in front is a behavior that we do again with the recalls, and when I back up, he comes into me like that. So I'm rewarding for him laying down to the sides, just to kind of make it a little more clear for him. Eventually, we will want him to come to the front, so he can do like a chin rest or other things like that. But right now, I just want him to understand, lay down when there's nothing else going on, and I'm relaxed. And so here, he's forgotten how to lay down. So I'm just putting my hand over his shoulder. I'm not pushing down. It's just more of like a barrier to kind of encourage him to crawl underneath it. And so each little step he does, it's closer to a down. He gets rewarded for that. And so here he's just kind of trying to roll with his shoulders, and I'm just rewarding him for any time he relaxes and goes down at all. And so there he got wrapped a little bit because he decided to help himself with the cookies. And again, we've worked really hard on that. So here he's thinking, and he's trying to figure out what the right answer is. And there, he offers it down, so he gets like 5 cookies. Lots of cookies. That was completely the right answer, so good boy. And so here we're going to see if we can replicate it. And it looks like there's something going on behind me. Yes, there's a person walking. But he looks, and then he stays focused on me, and I like that. Here, he's understanding it's on one side or the other, and there. Perfect answer. He gets a little jackpot for that. So I'm just working through the cookies that I've got on the table there. He stayed in the down position, so he gets some cookies for that. And all of the exercises that we're doing right now are just reinforcing the idea of if you stay in this position and you don't change, you're going to get more cookies than if you keep resetting. So there, that was good. So I got 3 in a row. He gets lots of petting. So here I'm going to try and show him the difference between coming into my space versus laying down near me. And now he's being a little silly and we want to play. So now that he's figured out the down, he wants to keep doing that. And so I'm showing him he can lean into me right here. And the difference is I'm sitting forward. I'm kind of coming over the top of him, and so I would like him to be in closer to me. When I'm leaning back like I was earlier, I would like for him to, lay down to either side or wait for other arrangements and cues. So now we're just going to play a little bit and just show him that being underneath me is a really good thing, and just, touching him everywhere and just being steady. So that's kind of the end of the session right here. So Ghost is doing really well. Like I said, he kind of regressed a little bit last week, which it's not a big deal. They never just go step by step through a program perfectly, and it wasn't that bad. It was just he just got really bouncy and he wanted to be a puppy for a little while. So we just really worked on reinforcing things that encouraged him to have his feet on the ground. And so there we are with that. So we're going to keep working on this for the rest of the week, and then this weekend we have our first overnight outing planned. and we will be going down to Freeport and in the RV, and we're going to go down to the beach and see what we can find out. Maybe walk on the pier and get some other surfaces taken care of, and just kind of have a nice little fun break, and we hope to have some pictures from that. So see you guys next time.